Hi, myself Adi Narayanan. Today we are going to discuss simple CRUD using hibernate JPA. So this is the task that we are going to see today. And let's go here. Let's go here. So this is the class which we created in our previous video, which contains only save method. So we saved the data to the database by using hibernate JPA. Already you know. So if you want to work with hibernate, then you need jar files that we done by using dependency management. This one. So and there is a persistent.xml, which is the configuration file for hibernate. You know that, and this is the dependency included, so that our tool will download all the jar files. This you know already we saw, and there is persistent.xml file. So where is our persistent.xml? It is in src main meta enough. So here. So this contain database related details like username, pass, URL, all those things, how to update. So all these things I explained in my previous videos. Now we are, and you know what is an entity? This is an entity, so which can both table name, column name, and variables to store all the values. And if we give this entity to Hibernate, Hibernate will create query and store it. This we saw already in the previous videos. So now this is the save operation which we saw in our previous video. So this one, this method from here to here, from here to here, we are saving the data to the database. Okay, you can understand what we have done here. Okay. We created a factory. You should create a factory. From factory, you should create an entity manager. This two line does that, right? This two line. And, okay, come down. So this is we are starting transaction. We are creating entity object and setting the value, and we are passing to the persist method in entity manager. And after that, we are committing it so that we saw that record is stored in the database. Next one, see this example, retrieve. To retrieve the record from the database. So we are using Hibernate JPA again. So here we are creating a factory, then we are creating entity manager. See this one, very important. How we retrieve only one line. So entity manager dot find. Whereas during save we use persist method. Here find. This entity employee dot class. This is a entity class, and this is an employee ID which you are going to pass. So which when you pass Hibernate, what no Hibernate will write select star from employee table you gave here, right? From here it will take the table name, and from here it takes the ID and select star from it, and it will convert into an employee object and it will send to us. You no need to use in when we use JDBC, we use a result set, and we iterate the result set, then retrieve the value, then we created an object. Now automatically Hibernate just only one line. It's very simple, right? Rather than using directly JDBC APIs, we can use Hibernate. So it's very simple. So I retrieve and I am showing the record, and we will see what are the records. So now what we do now, we go here. Okay, so we go here, and then let me open my workbench. Where is my workbench? So open your workbench. Okay, let me open my workbench. And for retrieve, this is the code. So the entire code of this one, save method, and this one is retrieve. That's the code. This is to retrieve the value from the database, and this is to update the record in the database. See how I do update, starting the transaction, pulling the data, changing the value, committing the transaction. That's all. Now Hibernate will create update query and send to database. See this code? That's all. For update, this is the code. We are pulling the data. Okay, we are pulling the data, change. That's all. Then you commit the transaction. What? So what is the next one? Delete. This is a delete employee, and we are creating factory entity manager. In order to delete, see here only one line. We are see here we are using get reference. Get reference, either you can use get reference or find. But get reference is more appropriate because it will send a proxy object. It won't go to database and retrieve the record. It will populate the value, whatever we gave here, it will populate the value and send a employee entity. So to delete, we no need the entire record. If you have an object with ID value set, then you can pass it to the remove method, which will delete the record from the database. That's all to delete. Either you can use get reference or get or find or find. Okay, come down. So this is the list employee. List employee to retrieve all the record from the database. So again, if you see this, this is the code. Same. This line is same. We are writing this line in all the method. That is not right. So we can use inheritance for this purpose. Most probably inheritance or composition, or write this method in the same class and a different method. So that you are going to do. You are going to fine tune. So rather than writing in all the method, you should know, you should have an idea. So these two lines are common in all my methods. So how can we put it in some other place so that we can assess that one? Okay. In order to retrieve, see here, query, we are creating query from employee. No, select star, no need. From, this is not table name, this is entity name. Our entity name, this is the one, entity name. Okay, this is an entity name, this is not a table name. So it is JPA query. If you go to Google and type JPA query language, nothing but there we use column and table name, whereas here we use entity and a variable name. Entity and the variable name. This is entity, this is an entity. So this class is an entity class and variable. These are the variable name. You can use variable name. Same, nothing other than no change. The same thing. So then after that we are query dot get result set. It will return as a list. You no need to iterate, create a collection like list and populate the value. No need to do all those things. Now very simple, just 2 line of code. You got the entities in the list. Then after that you iterate and show it here. So this is the code. Yeah, this is the code. That's all, nothing other than this. So if you go above and see here Java x.persistent entity manager factory persistent query, all the things that you should use from the Java x.persistence. When Eclipse asks you the package, which package to be preferred, you always give Java x.persistent because we are using Hibernate JPA. So all these classes are here. We call this as an API, right? You know what is an API? Just it is a class which contains method or so. And when you access and you send a proper value, then it is going to work based on that value and give you the result. Okay. So now we'll go one by one here. I wrote all the 5 methods. First we will try to save. First we will try to retrieve. First we will try to retrieve this. Already I done a lot of records saved. So first we will see what are the records that are available in this table. So here I'm running only this method. All these methods commented, I commented. Only list method I am running it. So here, see here, launching. So you see what is the query that are created. Okay, this is the query that is created by Hibernate. So there are how many records? Two records are there, 42 and 43. Two records are there, and we got all the two records. So now already I showed you the code for this one. Already I showed you the code. This is the code. I call this method create a factory entity manager. No need to create factory for each and every time, but you will understand that one. Okay, anyway, we are creating here factory and we are closing it factory entity, and here in the finally we are closing. Just this line got executed and this line got executed. See employee ID, employee name. That's all. Nothing other than this. You can implement one by one method. Okay, now we will try to save the method. Save. We will command this one. We will call save. And the save, change the data. So here, SURE, that's Suresh, 23, BAMG, Bangalore, something. Okay, let me run this one. So when I run, which method is called here? Not all the method, only I save method is I activated. Let me run this one. So you saw the code already. So I explained this class in my previous video more detail. Just to see that one, you will understand. Okay, let me run this one. Here, select the update insert. See here, it is inserting a record and it is selecting a value for the ID because it is auto generated. We are not setting the ID. ID is auto generated. So it is selecting an ID from Hibernate sequence. Try to see what is sequence. You will understand. Only sequence. Understand. Okay. Then it is inserting a record and updating the value. Okay. Now we will go to database and see whether a record is created or not. So I think so. It is EMP test. Or table name is EMP test. So why we are getting this error? No database selected. What is the problem? No database selected. You should use right. This one use which database? JSTRA. Now okay. Now you won't get the problem. See here we got 4 Bangalore 23 Suresh. Record is saved. Right. Record is saved. So record is saved. Now let's go to our Eclipse. Okay. Same way. Hereafter, I will show you. Even you can see this one, you can use this method to see the values. So already we saved right. So now this code is going to fetch us. Sorry, I didn't enable anything. Yeah, anyway, interlace. Yeah, we got all the three records 44, 43, and 42. We got all the records. So now we will try to update. We'll try to see update code. So if you go to update method, so the logic is this is the logic. See what is the logic? So I create a factory and I create entity, then I'm creating here and I'm pulling the value. So I'm pulling the value. What is the value that I want to pull? Let me try to retrieve 44 record. Let me try to update the 44 record. Update 44. So what is the age of 44? What is the age of 44? I think so the age is 23. Okay, age is 23. So here update and I want to change the age to this one as age. Yeah, update. I want to change the age to 40 and I don't know if you want to change the name also you can change anything you can change uh, maybe a child something. Okay, okay, now so you are pulling the record here and after that you are changing the entity here in the entity it contains all the value from the record in the database from the row in the database for 44. Now you are going to change this one after this line executes. So it will execute first and it will assign all the value to here and you are changing the value to original 44 and you are committing it. So this is the update code. This is the update code. Update method starts here, ends here, right? Nothing other than this is nothing other than this. Okay, let us run. Let's run. See, let's run update also running. After that, we are running list. If you don't want to run the list, control S. Now, run as Java application. Okay. See here, the update query is created by hibernate and it is updating the record. Updating the record. Okay. So let's go to database and see whether the value gets changed or not. So I go to workbench. Yeah, I go to workbench and I'm going to run this query. See here, previously Bangalore 23 and Suresh. Now we made the name of Suresh to Adi and the age to 40. See here, age 40, name changed to Adi Narayanan and ID is 44. So we Hibernate created the query. Just we pull the data and we changed the value. That's all. We didn't do any other thing. Hibernate does all the things. Now let me go to Eclipse. Eclipse. So that's the code and even you can use this one to retrieve. Let us use this method and let me retrieve the data and show it in the console. See here all the three data are available and here change the name is 44 and employee ID is 44, name is this one. Okay, now let's delete. This is single retriever. This called retrieve employee. Again, this is simple. So factory, this one, no need transaction. To pull the data, no need transaction because we are not updating anything in the database. No need. If you want to start the transaction also, you can start and okay, see here, that's all. I only one line, then I am printing the record. Okay. So let's go for delete operation. How you delete the record here? See here, this is the delete operation. To delete what you are doing, pull the data and pass it to remove method. That's all. Entity. Get reference will not go and retrieve the render record, but it will create an object of employee and set only the ID value. There is a lot of document in the internet. If you go and read, no, you will get it. This is the code for delete. So let's go and which one shall us delete? 41. Let's delete 41, 42, or 43. Let us delete 42. Yeah, this one. And let me command this one. So we are going to delete record 42. So let me run this one. See here, delete code is created by hibernate. First, it is pulling the data. After that, delete code is created and it is successfully deleted. So we will do list here now. We will try to list the records, all the records, and see how many records that we are getting. See, now we got only two records, 43 and 44. We deleted 42. And if we go to database and see, we go to database and see, and let me execute this code. We got only two rows, right? So now you learn the CRUD operation. Now you learn the CRUD operation. So this is the code. This is retrieve method, that is to get the record. This is to update the record, and this is to delete the record code. This is the code, and this is to retrieve all the record from the database, and we are using query language. See what is JPA query language. Go to internet and nothing. The same whatever the SQL queries. No? JPA query. Okay. So you go here. If you go to internet and JPA CRUD operation, you get lot of examples. So now you should be able to understand this code and probably do a CRUD operation. You know now how to configure Eclipse with Maven, that is installing Maven in Eclipse, then creating a Maven Java project, then configuring hibernate, meaning in POM file you are going to specify what are the jar files needed by using dependency, and you are going to configure persistent.xml. This one you're going to configure persistent.xml, and after that you are going to create a factory. You are going to write the code. Your code should create a factory and entity manager, and you can either save, delete, update, list, or retrieve. You can see all the things. Now you are somewhere around 10% or 20% of understanding the hibernate. So next is mapping, very important. One to one to many, many to many, one to many to one. These are the four mappings that you should understand, and a little bit of inheritance, whatever I videos here. I have Maven Hibernate. Where is Hibernate? This one Hibernate, and so now you know intro control shift F controllers. So now you know this video. You saw this video creating project. using hibernate and saving the data and the CRUD operation. This code we completed. So then, if you have some knowledge of entity lifecycle, one-to-one, many-to-one, one-to-one, many-to-many, JPA query language, criteria and caching, you are very near, you are almost understood all the things done. If you understand all these things, whatever I highlighted, probably you should be able to either interview or work in a project. So you should put a lot of effort in order to get all this information. Without Hibernate, no project is there. So the project which is created after 2008 will all have implemented Hibernate in order to interact with the database. Yes, thanks for your time. We will see in next video.